Welcome to my channel Starwire Daily. Please share and subscribe and press the bell icon for new updates. Picture this. The Australian coastline stretches endlessly before you, waves crashing against pristine shores, and there, emerging from the crystal clear waters like some mythical sea goddess, is Nicole Kidman. At 58 years old, in a wetsuit that hugs every curve of her impossibly graceful frame. The cameras capture every droplet of water cascading down her porcelain skin, every strand of her strawberry blonde hair catching the golden sunlight. And the internet? Well, the internet collectively lost its mind. "She's aging in reverse," screamed one fan. "This woman has made a deal with the devil," gasped another. But here's the thing about Nicole Kidman that most people don't understand. This isn't magic. This isn't luck. This is the result of decades of choices, sacrifices, and an almost supernatural dedication to her craft and her body that borders on obsession. Welcome back to Starwire Daily, where we dive deep into the stories that make Hollywood tick. I'm your host, and today we're unraveling the mystery of Nicole Kidman's Fountain of Youth. Because what happened on that Australian beach wasn't just a photo shoot. It was a statement. A declaration, a middle finger to every ageist executive, every cruel tabloid, every person who ever dared to suggest that a woman's value diminishes with time. But let's rewind for a moment. Let's talk about the woman behind those piercing blue eyes. Because Nicole Mary Kidman's journey to becoming this ageless icon is far more complex and fascinating than you might imagine. Born in Honolulu, but raised in Sydney, Nicole wasn't born into Hollywood royalty. Her father was a biochemist, her mother a nursing instructor. She was tall, awkward, with wild curly hair and skin so pale it seemed translucent. In the harsh Australian sun, she was an outsider from day one. But here's what's remarkable about young Nicole. She turned that otherness into power. At 14, she made a decision that would change everything. She walked into a drama class, and something clicked. Not just the acting, but the transformation. The ability to shed her skin and become someone else entirely. By 16, she was starring in Australian films. By 20, she was in Hollywood. And by 23, she was married to the biggest movie star on the planet, Tom Cruise. The name still sends ripples through entertainment history, doesn't it? Their marriage was a masterclass in Hollywood mythology until it wasn't. 10 years, 2 adopted children, and a divorce that rocked the industry. But here's what most people missed while they were gossiping about Scientology and custody battles. Nicole was quietly, methodically, brilliantly rebuilding herself into something even more powerful than before. The early 2000s should have been Nicole's wilderness years. Newly divorced, past 30 in an industry obsessed with youth, facing whispers that she was difficult or cold. Instead, she did something extraordinary. She chose projects that scared her. Moulin Rouge, where she sang and danced with an abandon that was almost painful to watch. The Others, where she proved she could carry a psychological thriller on her shoulders alone. The Hours, where she disappeared so completely into Virginia Woolf that even her own mother didn't recognize her. And then came the Oscar. That moment when she climbed those stairs, her hands shaking slightly, her voice breaking with emotion as she thanked her parents, her children, her art. But watch that speech again. Really watch it. There's something in her eyes, a hunger, a determination. She wasn't satisfied. She was just getting started. The years that followed became a masterclass in reinvention. Big Little Lies, where she produced and starred, proving she wasn't just a beautiful face but a shrewd businesswoman. The Undoing, being the Ricardos, the Northmen, each role carefully chosen, each performance pushing boundaries. At an age when most actresses are being offered grandmother roles, Nicole was playing complex, sexual, dangerous women. But let's talk about what really sets Nicole apart, because it's not just her talent. It's her relationship with her own image, her own body, her own aging process. In an industry built on the worship of youth, Nicole Kidman has done something revolutionary. She's embraced the passage of time while simultaneously seeming to transcend it. The skincare routine is legendary, of course. She's been open about her religious use of sunscreen since childhood, her dedication to hydration, her careful attention to nutrition. But here's what she doesn't talk about as much: the mental discipline, the meditation, the yoga that she's practiced for decades. The way she approaches her body not as an enemy to be fought, but as an instrument to be tuned. Nicole has never hidden her cosmetic procedures. The Botox, the careful tweaks, the maintenance that comes with being a leading lady past 50. But she's done it with such subtlety, such artistry, that she's managed to look refreshed rather than frozen, enhanced rather than altered. It's a balancing act that so many of her contemporaries have failed to master. And then there's the fashion. Oh, the fashion. Working with stylists like Julia Von Bohm, Nicole has transformed red carpet appearances into art installations. Remember that chartreuse Dior gown at the 2017 Oscars? The way it seemed to float around her like liquid light? Or that structured Louis Vuitton creation akin that made her look like a futuristic warrior queen? Each appearance carefully calculated to maintain her image as fashion royalty. But let's get back to that beach in Australia, because what happened there was more than just a photo shoot. It was a manifesto. The wetsuit photos were for a new campaign, and when they dropped on social media, the response was immediate and overwhelming. Comments poured in by the thousands. Goddess. Perfection. How is this even possible? But perhaps more telling were the responses from other women. Women in their 40s, 50s, 60s, sharing their own photos, inspired by Nicole's fearless display of confidence. You see, what Nicole Kidman did on that beach wasn't just about looking good in a wetsuit. It was about claiming space. It was about refusing to be invisible. It was about saying that sexuality, beauty, and power don't have expiration dates. The technical aspects of the shoot were flawless, of course. The lighting designed to catch every droplet of water, the angles chosen to emphasize her statuesque frame, the photographer's keen eye for capturing not just her physical beauty, but that ineffable quality that makes Nicole. But beyond the technical mastery was something more profound. A woman comfortable in her own skin, proud of her body, unashamed of her age. There's something almost mythological about Nicole Kidman's career arc. She's managed to age not just gracefully, but powerfully. Each decade has brought new challenges, new transformations, new triumphs. At 28, she was the young wife of a megastar. At 38, she was an Oscar-winning actress rebuilding her life. At 48, she was a television producer revolutionizing prestige TV. At 58, she's everything. The business of staying relevant in Hollywood is brutal, especially for women. The statistics are depressing. Leading roles for actresses over 40 drop dramatically. Over 50? They practically disappear. But Nicole has written her own rules. She's created her own opportunities. She's refused to accept the limitations that the industry tried to impose on her. Her production company, Blossom Films, isn't just a vanity project. It's a vehicle for telling stories about complex women, often women of a certain age who refuse to be marginalized. Big Little Lies wasn't just entertainment. It was a cultural phenomenon that sparked conversations about domestic violence, female friendship, and the hidden struggles of seemingly perfect lives. The Undoing explored themes of marriage, deception, and the masks we wear in public versus private. Nine Perfect Strangers delved into wellness culture and the search for meaning in midlife. Each project carefully chosen not just for its commercial potential, but for its cultural relevance. But let's talk about the elephant in the room. The whispers, the speculation, the endless analysis of every line on her face, every expression, every public appearance. Nicole Kidman exists in a fishbowl where every aspect of her aging process is scrutinized, debated, criticized, or praised. It's a level of public examination that would break most people, and yet she thrives in it. She's turned the scrutiny into power. Every red carpet appearance is a statement. Every interview is an opportunity to control the narrative. Every role is a chance to show the world what a woman in her 50s can accomplish. The wetsuit photos are just the latest example of this mastery. In a culture obsessed with youth, she presented herself as something better, experienced, confident, unafraid. The comments calling her a goddess weren't just about her physical appearance. They were about her energy, her presence, her refusal to apologize for taking up space. There's also something to be said about her personal life, which she's managed to keep relatively private despite the intense public scrutiny. Her marriage to Keith Urban has provided a stability that was missing during her Hollywood power couple days. Their relationship seems genuine, supportive, grounded in mutual respect rather than mutual ambition. Her daughters with Tom Cruise, Isabella and Connor, have chosen to live largely private lives. Her biological daughters with Keith, Sunday Rose and Faith Margaret, are growing up away from the Hollywood spotlight. Nicole has managed to be both a global superstar and a protective mother, another balancing act that speaks to her strength and wisdom. The real secret to Nicole Kidman's ageless beauty isn't just skincare or surgery or good lighting. It's purpose. It's passion. It's the fire that still burns in her eyes when she talks about her craft. Watch any recent interview and you'll see it. That same hunger, that same curiosity, that same willingness to be vulnerable in service of her art. She talks about roles she still wants to play, stories she still wants to tell, boundaries she still wants to push. At 58, she's not looking backward with nostalgia or regret. She's looking forward with anticipation and ambition. The wetsuit photos captured more than just a beautiful woman in great shape. They captured a spirit that refuses to be dimmed by age or expectations or the cruel calculations of an ageist industry. They captured someone who has learned to transform every challenge into opportunity, every ending into a beginning. In a world that constantly tells women that their value decreases with age, Nicole Kidman stands as a living, breathing contradiction. She's proof that reinvention is possible at any age, that sexiness isn't the exclusive province of youth, that power can actually increase with experience and wisdom. Her career trajectory reads like a masterclass in longevity. From soap opera ingenue to Hollywood royalty to indie film darling to television mogul to ageless icon. Each phase building on the last, each reinvention more impressive than the one before. The wetsuit photos went viral not just because she looked incredible, though she absolutely did, but because they represented something larger. Hope, possibility, the radical idea that a woman can be 58 and still be at the peak of her power, still be discovering new aspects of herself, still be pushing boundaries and breaking rules. There's something almost punk rock about Nicole Kidman's approach to aging in Hollywood. She's refused every attempt to put her in a box, to limit her to age-appropriate roles, to accept the diminishment that the industry assumes comes with time. Instead, she's gotten bolder, more adventurous, more willing to take risks. So when you see those wetsuit photos making rounds on social media, when you read the comments about aging in reverse and deals with the devil, remember this. What you're really looking at isn't magic. It's mastery. It's a woman who has spent decades honing not just her craft, but her relationship with herself, with her image, with her power. Nicole Kidman, at 58, isn't trying to look 28. She's not chasing youth or trying to turn back time. She's doing something far more radical and far more powerful. She's showing the world what 58 can look like when you refuse to accept limitations, when you treat your body as an instrument rather than an ornament, when you approach each new decade as an adventure rather than a defeat. The wetsuit photos are just the latest chapter in a career that has consistently defied expectations and rewritten rules. And if the past is any indication, Nicole Kidman isn't done surprising us yet. At 58, she's not winding down, she's just hitting her stride. That's the real secret to her timeless beauty. It's not about stopping time. It's about making time irrelevant. It's about being so fully, authentically, powerfully yourself that age becomes just another number, just another challenge to transform into triumph. And honestly, that's more inspiring than any fountain of youth could ever be. What do you think about Nicole Kidman's latest stunning photos? Are you inspired by her fearless approach to aging in Hollywood? Or do you have thoughts on how celebrities navigate the pressure to stay forever young? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I genuinely love reading your perspectives on these stories. And your insights always add such depth to our conversations here at Starwire Daily. And if you're loving this deep dive into the lives and secrets of Hollywood's most fascinating stars, make sure you're subscribed with that notification bell turned on. We got some incredible stories coming up this week that you absolutely won't want to miss. Trust me on this one. Until next time, keep sparkling. And remember, age is just a number, but confidence, that's timeless.